The US dollar is coming off the lows, but will this move have legs or will it be faded like every other time? That's what I'm answering in today's video. I have the latest on the DXY, the euro, and also the pound. So my name is Justin Bennett, full-time trader and founder of Daily Price Action. As always, all of this is my opinion only and not financial advice. So let's start here with the DXY, looking at the 4-hour time frame. And as you guys know, if you've seen recent videos of mine, you know that I am cautiously bullish on the US dollar. Now, that is a relatively unpopular opinion because everybody right now with what's happening in the Middle East thinks that the US dollar is dead, right? The petrodollar is dead, the dollar is going to zero, etc. And maybe it will, okay? And eventually it will, because every single time throughout history, throughout hundreds and hundreds of years, the reserve asset will eventually fail, the reserve currency. In this case, it's the US dollar. However, throughout history too, we know that the reserve currency can last for roughly 80 to 120 years. So the idea that any of us are going to time this down to a day or a week is, in my opinion, a little bit ridiculous. Looking at the DXY, the reason that I am cautiously bullish, and we've talked about this before, but looking at the daily chart, you can see that back here we have these lows. Now we had a close below here that gave us the break of structure. That also meant that these up here were the external highs. Now we had closes above this right here. If this looks too marginal for you, check out the Euro chart, which we'll talk about next. But that chart right there gave us a close of over 50 pips below its lows to confirm its change of character. So this right here, guys, is in fact a change of character on the daily time frame. So that alone right there is why I am cautiously bullish on the US dollar. You can also see where recently we did have the DXY drop down here into this imbalance from back here, which was completely unmitigated. And since that time, we've seen the market mitigate that area. So the question, like I've said in recent videos, is will we get the DXY bottoming here to form a higher low, or will we see lower? And that's the part that we don't know yet. Because if you look at the 4-hour time frame, you'll notice that all of this price action recently, really going back to mid-April, is really just internal structure. Okay, so, or stated another way, it's sideways price action, right? So from these lows down here up here to these highs, what you'll notice is that really this is just one big range here for the DXY, and we've seen the same thing from the rest of the Forex market. So what we don't know here is, will the DXY give us the break above these highs up here, okay, to give us that push into areas like 100, or like I said, will we see these lows down here get taken out and see lower from the DXY? Either way though, guys, I am looking for a higher low to develop over the coming days and weeks. It's just a matter of, do we get it from here or do we drop lower before we get that higher low? Now, an early indication, if we do see the DXY push higher, an early indication that could materialize this week is going to be this high right up here. Because if you look at the 1-hour time frame, what you'll notice is that we did actually have a close below this low right back here. So on the 1-hour time frame, what you'll notice down here is that we had this low, we had the DXY bounce off of this low, and then we had it close below. That right there gave us the BOS. It also meant that this up here now is a protected high. So right around 98.58, that is going to be the level to watch this week, because if we were to see the DXY, you can see the rotation lower right now coming down here toward imbalances like this, right? We do have some imbalances down here on this push up. But if we were to see the DXY now, right, come up here and take out this area around 98.58, then that could be a change of character, signaling a push back toward 100, okay? Now, alternatively, if we see the DXY take out these lows down here, then that idea is off the table. Now, you'll also notice that this level up here at 98.58 also lines up with the top of this channel, okay? So you can see that the highs up here, right? We then have this high back here. Again, intersecting right there around 98.5 to about 98.6. That, in my opinion, is going to be the area to watch here for the DXY, okay? So get above here, I think we have a confirmed, near-term bottom for a push into this imbalance. But until that time, technically, this is all just a sideways market and really ultimately still a downtrend. Although, like I said, based on what's happening on the daily time frame, I am, bullish here overall. It's just a matter of, like I said, do we get the market putting in a low down here, right? A higher low off of these current lows, or do we get a bit lower here from the US dollar first? All right, so that is the big question. Like I said, I think 98.58, this high up here, is going to be the one to watch over the coming days. All right, so let's move on to the euro. And by the way, guys, if you want to see exactly how I trade SMC, check out the link right here on the screen. That's going to provide you with a free SMC course that shows you exactly how I trade SMC full time. And beyond that, if you want to join us in Discord, that's where I spend most of my time. You will have the option to do that. And that's also where I share my trades. I share trade setups. I answer member questions. We also have the full SMC course in there of over 20 videos. Plus, I just launched a trade journal that is completely free for VIP members. I launched that last week, and there are new features rolling out every single day. So check out that link here on the screen. If you don't see it here, see the description of this video. Okay, so looking at the euro daily time frame, right? Similar situation here for this market. It's basically the inverse of the DXY. So what you'll notice is that over here, no question, this was a BOS with this close. Very convincing close above, very convincing close below the external low. That gave us this change of character. And this is why I've been saying over the past few weeks, really over a month now, that this move up, okay, this relief here from the euro could be short-lived, could be just mitigating this imbalance before we get a lower high forming, okay, from the euro. Now, here's what's going to be key though, okay? And I draw this arrow, not the forecast, but that is kind of my base case scenario to look for shorts up here. However, the one thing that matters for the euro is you look at the 4-hour time frame, right? I'm going to remove this trend line here for a second and show you that really, like the DXY for the most part, you look at this high up here, you look at these lows down here, all of this is just internal price action right now. There is really no indication that we're getting a rotation lower here from this market, because at a minimum for the euro, if you draw a level across here, okay, so let's do that here for a second. So off of this high right here, if you draw a level across, you can see we didn't close above. That means that we really have to go all the way back here toward this high to find the last BOS, okay? And you can see that back here we did close below, then we closed above. And again, this just goes to show you how sideways this market has been. This is also why I am using the DXY and this high right here at 98.58 as kind of my barometer for the euro and even the pound, because I think the DXY right now is actually a lot cleaner than the euro and the pound. And that happens a lot, guys, because this is a weighted index of the euro, the pound, all the major currency pairs. And it's going to give you oftentimes a cleaner look at what's happening in the Forex market than something like the euro or the pound. Okay, so right now you can see very sideways. Now at the same time, if we look at this on a 4-hour time frame, in fact, let's go to an 8-hour to show this a little bit better. You can see here that this is the channel that I've outlined now for the past few videos. So off of this high up here, we have this high. Notice what the euro has struggled with so far, okay? This is what the market is struggling with this week, and you can see where we are coming off a little bit here on Tuesday. But the question, or the big key for this market, like I said, is going to be taking out some of these lows down here to really give us that shift in structure to show us that we are likely to come back here toward this imbalance and possibly even lower within the context, okay, of this channel. That's going to be key. Now, if we were to see the euro taking out these highs instead, and just pushing higher above these highs, and especially this one up here, then that of course would start to look more bullish for the euro, okay? So nothing here is written in stone. Nothing here is confirmed for the euro, but I did want to point this out because you can see where the market again is struggling right there at the same level that I've mentioned in the past few videos. Okay, so we'll see what we'll get over the coming days. Again, I will be sure to update members in Discord as I always do, what's happening here, both in terms of trade setups and also if I do take a trade. But really, ultimately, guys, I am looking for shorts here just because when you look at this on the daily chart, you see this down here. This down here was a change of character, still is. And this push up right here, in my opinion, is more than likely forming a lower high off of this one up here. And again, it all has to do with just using simple SMC market structure on the daily time frame. Once you do that, again, you can see BOS up here, change of character down here. This is the first change of character that we've seen from the euro during this entire run-up. And I do think it is significant. It's just a matter of watching the price action over here in this area to look for that lower time frame shift to get short. Okay, so let's wrap things up with GBPUSD. And the daily time frame, you can see how sideways this market has been, like a lot of the Forex market over the past few weeks, or really since mid-April, we have really just gone sideways. Okay, so nothing definitive yet for GBPUSD. I think what this is going to come down to for this market is you can see that since this BOS back here, since we got the close above, and this was our protected low down here, ever since this time, really, this has just been sideways action. Okay, so nothing but sideways action here from the pound. We don't have any new BOS up here. So therefore, this low down here that we talked about last time, this is still the low to watch, in my opinion. So right around 1.3447 or so, that low is going to be the one to watch, where if we get a close below here, then we do have a change of character off of this. And I'm looking for shorts on a lower high. Okay. So you can also see for the pound that we do have a bullish change of character back here following that downtrend. However, like I've said recently too, though, you still have this massive imbalance back here. So what I think we could get from the pound, I mean, obviously sideways action here, for the most part, but we do have this imbalance up here. So possibly some relief over the next, let's say 24 to 48 hours. From there though, I really do, like I said in recent videos, guys, this area down here, it's not often that you get an imbalance this large. The market goes sideways like this and doesn't come back to fill that. Okay. So, obviously I could be wrong on that. It's all going to depend on what the structure looks like at the time. One thing that I would eye here over the coming days, let's say over the next 2 days or so, is going to be, levels like this. Okay. So you can see that we do have a bit of a trend line break. We also, again, have this imbalance up here. So possibly some relief, like I said, for the pound over the next 1 or 2 days, up here toward this imbalance, mitigate this region. And then possibly from there, we get the rotation lower. And if we do take out this low down here, like I said, probably coming back here toward about 1.33 to mitigate this imbalance. Obviously, alternatively, if we come up and just take out these highs, continue higher, then this recent uptrend that we've seen is intact for the pound. But right now, I mean, really over the past few weeks, like a lot of these markets, it has just been sideways action. Although I do think we're getting close to a point where we could see this market put in a change of character to come down here and mitigate that 1.33 imbalance, like I've talked about over the past few videos. So that's it for today's video. Keep it locked in here, subscribe to the channel. Also check out this video right here where I show you exactly how I trade liquidity sweeps. And trust me when I tell you, it's a video that you're going to want to watch. So until next time, trade well. I will talk to you again tomorrow.